Hey guys, I'm Rhett with Section 8 Real Estate Investing. Thanks for watching. Today we got something kind of cool for you, a little different from our other videos. We're gonna do a little home walkthrough, okay? We're gonna see what's going on in this house, kind of decide if we wanna buy it or not. I'm gonna walk you guys through what I look for in buying a home, and instead of me sitting down talking to you about it, I can actually walk you through it. All right, let's head in. All right guys, so come on in. So the first thing I'm noticing, I'm looking up at the ceiling. I'm noticing some new drywall, maybe some new light fixtures, all right? Now, a lot of times in properties where we have some new things along with some old things like this, the first thing I think is, okay, well, maybe someone started the rehab on this property and ran out of money, or started the rehab on this property and ran into an issue that was too big to where they couldn't solve it. Okay, so those are the first two things that I'm thinking of, but let's walk through and check this place out. We are in Birmingham, Alabama right now. We'll walk through, check it out, and see what we think. Okay, so it looks like this was an old deck, maybe outside, that got transformed into an interior living. As you can see, we have what appears to used to be a window right here. That has now been turned into what looks like maybe a bedroom. As you can tell, you have new drywall right here, and this wall, new drywall as well, along with a fireplace that does not look operable anymore. I will say that in a lot of times you guys are buying these homes, fireplaces, chimneys are a cause for a lot of problems. So if this was going to be my rental and I would have purchased this property, what I would end up doing is just covering that fireplace with a fireplace cover. You can buy them pretty cheap, Home Depot and Lowe's, or online. So it keeps kind of the aura of the fireplace without you having to deal with a tenant actually using the fireplace. A lot of times, you know, chimneys haven't been cleaned for a while. There might be raccoon nests or old bird nests. It's just a mess. You have to get the chimney cleaned. It's not worth it. All right, guys, let's go this way. I'm sorry, I'll stop you right here. New ceiling right here, again, with old paneling. So just when you have old and new, it always makes me question, okay, did the old owner run into a problem they didn't foresee, they didn't expect in their expense report before they purchased this property? And I'm sure we'll find it if they did. All right, so walking in here. All right, electricity's off. Again, we have the back side of this wall, which is drywall. Moving into the kitchen here. Guys, one thing I want you to look at is there's a significant slope in the floor. You might not be able to tell with this video, but that's one thing that you always want us to look for. That could be a couple things. It could be a foundational shift. It could be joists underneath the floor shifting. Joist work is not always the most expensive thing ever, but foundation moving could be. As I'm saying that, I'm looking over here, guys. Check this out right here. See this gap? There's a significant drop down, okay? Probably about 3-inch gap. Now, what that is showing us is that this countertop used to be right here, okay? So the countertop is falling down, which means that the foundational shift, the joist issue, is pretty significant, okay? So that's a problem. Now, if it was just a little slope in the floor, it wouldn't be as big of a deal, but because we're actually seeing something separate from the wall, we know that it's pretty significant. Now, that's a 3-inch drop, so we know that there's at least a 3-inch movement, okay? Not good, not good, all right? Let's move over here. New drywall, okay? The first thing I'm noticing about this new drywall is significant, what looks like water damage, and a lot of it, okay? Very, very significant water damage, and it has to be recent. I can tell this drywall is fairly recent. Yes, fairly recent. It almost feels now, in Birmingham, I understand what the temperature's like. I understand the summer. So a lot of times in these homes without air conditioning, they get really, really humid, right? If you guys live in places where you have humid summers, you'd see that this drywall unpainted, it would start to flake and peel. There hasn't been any of that, which makes me think that it's been done in the last couple of months. Seeing that much water damage, we have had a very wet kind of last few months here in Birmingham. So seeing this amount of water damage makes me think there's a significant issue. There's actually a hole up there, if you can see. So, you know, drywall is very susceptible to water. It will rot. Now, this isn't that hard of a repair as far as drywall is. You know, drywall's fairly cheap. You cut this right out, you put drywall in, you mud the drywall in. It's not that big of a problem. However, the water issue, whether it's a bad pipe or a bad roof, that might be more expensive. All right? So let's move into here. Okay, looks like the ceiling was scraped. It was what looked like a popcorn ceiling that had been scraped. I don't know why you would scrape it. It's a lot easier just to re-popcorn it or paint over it. Scraping it is very hard and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Guys, we'll look on the back side here of this counter that was sloping. As you can see, there's also significant rot, right? We've talked about rot in some other videos. Rot is incredibly detrimental. It can be easily fixed or it can be not easily fixed depending on the grade of rot and if it's gone into beams and wood that is important in maintaining structural integrity. So we're gonna have to check that out as well. Moving on in the living room, we have an issue that I've talked about in other videos as far as I've spoke about not buying properties that have open orifices, right, to outside or open areas, holes. The corner of this house is a huge problem. Now, I would not buy this home in just looking at this, okay? Because as you can see, anytime there's daylight, there's a significant issue. Not only do we have daylight, we have a very large gap that runs from the bottom all the way up top. Now, a couple things could cause that. Number one, foundational separation, okay? But what I'm thinking is it could be one of two things. One, it could have something to do with the incredible separation we saw in the kitchen, right? Where the foundation, maybe the joists are bad and this whole back half of the house is kind of falling, which could be creating the separation. Or it could just be such bad rot on the back side of this. I mean, look at this wood, guys. I mean, it is just, it's falling apart, okay? There's such incredible rot. You can see someone tried to reframe this. They tried to reframe it. It looked like they stopped halfway. I don't know what this is. So they tried to reframe it. It doesn't look like they knew what they were doing because Kyle, who's filming this, Kyle, if you come over here for a second. Guys, as you can see over here, there's brand new wood and it looked like someone tried to frame it into rotted wood. So in order to properly frame, you have to take all the rotted wood out and redo it. That really wouldn't do much. That'd be kind of like a smoke and mirror sort of thing. But there's also a hole in the ceiling where we also have light coming in. And guys, whenever you can see the outside, it's never good because you're subjecting the interior of the home to exterior conditions, which is why you see such incredible rot here, opposed to some other areas we've looked where you have seen rot, but maybe not this incredible, is because exterior conditions create rot, right? Homes are made of wood. Wood is incredibly susceptible to humidity, water, and when you're outside, there's a lot of humidity, a lot of water, okay? So that's why we're seeing tons and tons of rot in this section of the house right here. I'm not afraid of rot, but I am afraid of extremely large holes, okay? Let's move forward. It looks like a fireplace right here was covered up. I don't know why you would do that. There would be other ways to make a fireplace look better, right? So like I said, you guys can get fireplace covers, which are pretty, they can be decorative, and they can just cover the fireplace, which keeps the beauty of the fireplace, it just makes them inoperable. So I would never suggest covering this, because what then you would have to do is build this out, or basically re-drywall this whole wall. It just doesn't make a lot of sense, okay? Let's move on here. So right now, guys, this is not a property that I would like to purchase, just solely because of the some of the rot I'm seeing and some of the shifting in the foundation. That definitely worries me. Let's move back into the bathroom of this house. Okay, so I'm seeing some interesting stuff here, guys. Brand new electrical panel. All brand new drywall here. That is a electrical water heater, guys. This is very expensive. So it looks like okay, guys, very interesting. This has a huge crack, and this looks like an outgoing sewer pipe, which is a huge issue. Okay, if that is an outgoing sewer pipe, guys, this whole pipe would need to be taken out and replaced with PVC and upgraded. That could be a huge problem, and also a huge job. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's something else. This is an older home, I believe. So maybe it's something else. Could be a vent of some kind. But it looks to me like an old sewer pipe. This is very cool. This is brand new, very expensive, very nice electrical water heater. And a nice panel. Now, in order to tell what kind of upgrades they actually did to the electrical, I would have to take this panel off to see what the connections look like and see what the wires actually look like, because anybody can put an electrical panel over an old panel and just connect it into the old wires. In order to really see what's behind it, we'd want to take this off, but we're going to leave this for now. If we were to buy it, we would undo this whole thing, check the wires, check everything there. Okay, looks like this used to be a obviously it used to be a bathroom. I don't know if maybe they were turning it into a bathroom. Although the pipes there, it looks like it used to be a bathroom. You can see all the water pipes down below, and maybe they were going to wall this off and make it a bathroom off the kitchen right here. Guys, we're doing a very kind of brisk walkthrough, just to point out the things that catch my eye totally. Things that would be deal breakers for me. We have not been in this house before. We're walking through this for the first time to decide if we want to buy it or not. And I'm just pointing out to you, this is, you know, I'm just kind of word vomiting as I go through this home. So we're going to go upstairs. Okay. So guys, this is Luan. I've never seen Luan on the wall before. Luan is what you put on the floor. It's a very, very interesting. It can actually be more expensive to put this on the wall. I don't know why it's on the wall. It's not meant to go on a wall. It's strange. Very strange. Very strange. More significant sloping over here as well. Again, new drywall on the ceilings. I don't know why that wall isn't drywalled. If they drywalled all the ceilings. So guys, up here we have a bedroom, it looks like. Bedroom. Attic of some kind. And a bathroom. With some significant sloping, guys, in the bathroom. You might not be able to tell from this video, but this entire sink vanity is completely sloped. The ground we're on is completely sloped, and I believe we're over the kitchen where there was also significant sloping. So now I'm wondering if the condition of the foundation is so bad that it might be beyond repair if it's sinking not only the lower floor, but the upper floor as well, which actually makes me a little nervous for the structural integrity of this entire home. When you have sloping, you need to do a couple things, right? You could go all the way through the bottom, through the crawl space, and put in support beams and try and crank those up to try and bring this floor up. But with the significant sloping that I see here and downstairs, it looks almost like you're gonna have to gut this entire downstairs and this area at least, and basically restructure this entire floor here. I don't think that there's a beam here. There should be, because of the amount of slope. So if there is a beam, it's gone, it's rotted, or it's been removed without understanding that it was a weight supporting beam. So you're gonna have to prop this floor up to make it livable again, because the amount of slope here I don't think is livable at all, as far as putting tenants in this home and feeling as if they're gonna be safe. Let's walk into this bedroom here. Very good sized bedroom. Some water damage up top here. Old laminate floor that was laid incorrectly. Some mud. You guys see some drywall mud on the walls here. It's a nice wasp in the house. I'm sure 2 wasps. I'm sure there's a nice nest in there somewhere, guys. Guys, what I'm looking for in the ceiling is water damage, which I see right here. There's a hole right there. Okay. I want to be on the second floor and look at the roof of the ceilings on the second floor, because they can tell me a lot about what condition the roof is in. Now, because of that hole that's clearly water damage, my guess is, and this water damage on the ceiling here, my guess is there's going to be some significant damage to the roof. And if there's not, maybe there is, maybe it's old if the roof has been replaced. But water was getting in here at one point, I think fairly recently. I don't want to draw any conclusions yet, but that would be my guess. All right, guys, bedroom number 2. Okay. All right, guys. Now, this is a very helpful tip. Okay, this is something that I've learned along my path in doing this stuff. Windows can tell you a lot, right? So it might be hard to tell in this video, but this window is sloped, okay? Now, you guys might not be able to tell, but you start to see a separation here, and you can actually start to see outside here, because this whole window is falling down this way. Now, this is also on the back side of the house. We're over the kitchen living room. We're, you know, right next to that bathroom on the back side where it was sloping. So if you needed any more evidence that we have serious foundational issues, check the windows. The windows will tell you everything, because the windows are on exterior walls. They're level. So if there is any slant or tip to them, the windows, whether you look at them from the outside or the inside, they should both tell you. If they're slanted, you know that you might have some foundational issues. Now, not all the time are foundational issues huge problems, but when you have significant slope like this, it could have taken 30 years to slope like this, could have taken 50. Now, it also could have taken a couple months, okay? It depends on how bad the conditions are below. It depends the level of rot. It depends on the condition of the foundation. So I can't look at this and tell you how long it's taken to get like this, but I can tell you that by looking at this, we have a clear separation, okay? Guys, over here, you just have more significant water damage, okay? Not nearly as much slope on this side, but you do have significant water damage. There's a hole in the sheetrock underneath the window there. Obviously, the window needs to be resealed, replaced, redone. Looks like a brand new ceiling fan with hornets all over it. We're gonna get out of here. I'm sure there's a nest in there or something. So guys, this is what I'm talking about though with fireplace covers. So this hasn't been covered yet, but something like this, something similar to this, probably something a little prettier, a little nicer. That's pretty old. But you take what was originally a fireplace, I believe. Yeah, it's one. So this is actually one chimney that has multiple fireplaces on it. But just get a cover, okay? Put a cover over it, make it pretty, and don't deal with all the liability and issues that come with a fireplace. Okay. All right. So guys, there's one other part of this home that we haven't looked at yet, and that's going to be the attic. We're going to head up there now. Before we head up there, I've seen some significant water damage issues. Nothing in that bedroom we were just in, but I've seen a lot of water damage. I'm wondering what we're going to see up there as far as water damage goes. I didn't check the roof. I usually check the roof before I come into a place, but I was excited to get this on video for you guys. So we'll check the roof as we leave. But let's head up there and see what we find. All right. So, all right guys, so a very significant heat change in humidity as well, which brings up a couple questions for me. One, is there going to be any mold up here? Two, are we somewhere being subjected to outside because of that heat? Okay. All right, guys. So, guys, this is bad, okay? All right, that is a dead animal of some kind. It looks like a deceased rat right there. But guys, what I'm looking at right here is I'm looking at leaves, okay? I'm looking at maybe somebody had a fire right here. There's some burnt objects right here as well. Typical sign of squatting, okay? I see a window that's open right there. You guys know my rule about open windows. Don't buy the home. There are more bees up here. Whenever you have leaves, okay, it's not good. When you have the ability for exterior things to come into your home, it's bad, okay? Over here, there's also a window that is propped up, covered in bees as well. So bees are getting in here, guys. You're gonna have probably some nests in the walls, which is a huge issue. But you're subjecting yourself to the exterior conditions, which is also bad. So guys, over here we have, okay, guys, so down here you have wood that is black, all right? Now, a lot of times you'd think, well, someone had a fire right here. But in this case, it's actually rot. And you can tell because that right there is water damage. This brick right here is all water damage. And actually that black wood is actually coming down. It's falling. It's incredibly fragile. It's actually falling down through here. There's incredible water damage all here. There's actually a breeze, guys. You can actually see that moving, okay? Because air is coming down through the roof and out, okay? So we don't even need to see what the roof looks like on top to know that there is significant exposure to the outside that's coming through here, okay? And when you have that much rot in a ceiling, it's a pit for money, okay? And I'm sorry, but my attention got pulled over here because right here as well we have a light fixture, used to be, okay? And underneath it there is water damage on the floor, okay? So significant water damage right here, you can see it. It looks like almost as if water would drip here every time it rains. And then you come back up here and you see that there's a hole right here. So, guys, this is pretty much all you need to surmise that this home has a very, very, very significant issue with water damage in the roof. To be completely honest with you, with the amount of rot up here, I don't want to go in that room. I don't want to go in this room either, as I don't want to even play with the structural integrity of this place, especially where we're talking off of the back side of this house. We have all that sloping, and we're pretty high up right now on this 3rd floor, so we're going to take it on downstairs. Another thing, guys, there is possibility for lead paint in this home as well. There are some places where the paint is flaking and chipping, kind of like lead paint does. As you can tell here, I'm not going to touch it. Would have to, you know, bring in somebody to be sure, but it is flaking very similarly to lead paint, so we don't want to mess with that at all. All right. Guys, another thing I want you to look at is, I want you to check the outlets, okay? I want you to look at outlets. I want you to look at, you know, interior walls whenever you can, because you'll be able to tell if some of these places had fires, if there's char, if there's anything like that. A lot of the places I like to check are, and I've been periodically looking at outlets, I haven't seen anything yet, but kitchens, okay? I'd like to check kitchens and just see if there's ever a fire, because a lot of times, if you're a couple owners away, you won't always know that. And in old homes like this, there always is the chance. So, I don't see any smoke damage here. I just see more separation at the top, like we discussed. Okay. That's all brand new backing. And guys, I do actually see some remnants here of extreme heat, probably a fire. See that? That black, what looks like stain? All right, right there. That is actually burned from a long time ago. Could be very insignificant, as that's pretty much all I see, but what made me look there was I saw all this other new backing. So, could be insignificant, not a big deal. All right, with all the other issues of this property, it's not a terribly big deal about a fire that could have taken place 20 or 30 years ago. But, you know, while we're here, let's look outside real quick. I want to show you guys some outside things, just briefly, and show you guys kind of what I'm seeing from an exterior perspective. So guys, we're outside of the property, and you see some gutter work that needs to be done up top, right? Now, a lot of times gutter work doesn't sound like it's that important, but when you think about it, all of the water that hits the roof has to go somewhere. And if you don't have a functioning gutter system, you're gonna run into issues, okay? You're gonna run into issues because all that water that hits the roof, where's it going, all right? If you have a bad roof and you have no gutter system, all that water can go to one place, can get through the roof, and can cause a serious problem, okay? All right, guys. We're not gonna go too far into this. I'm just gonna tell you some things I see quickly. It sounds like there's some mad dogs around here, so we're gonna get out of here fairly soon, but you see significant rot up here, and you see incredible rot on the side of this house over here. Okay, that's kind of where we were earlier. There's a huge hole over there that we saw earlier in the living room, and you see that piece of wood's coming out. Now that wood could be coming out because maybe somebody ripped it out, but what's more likely is there's some extreme pressures in the shifting of this home that have forced that piece of wood to come out. But there's a lot of bees around here, guys, so we're gonna get out of here. But to summarize everything we saw today, this would be a property that I would not purchase for some of the reasons that we saw. Sloping foundation, extreme rot in what is the roof. You know, and like I talked about, the slope is not always the biggest issue. A lot of these old homes can have sloping floors, right? But when you see slope that is drastic, you know, we're talking multiple inches that we could tell by how far the counter separated, and then you go above that to the second floor and there's also significant slope, that worries me, okay? There is some serious structural problems here that I don't want to get into. It looks like somebody has already come in here and started to rehab it and probably ran into those issues. So guys, this is gonna be a pass for me. I hope it's a pass for you as well. I'm glad you stuck through and watched, and I hope you guys picked something up, even if it was a small thing. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I look forward to getting back with you guys soon. Thanks for watching.